YouTube, welcome back to another assembly video with SpongeBob and Patrick. Today we're going to be building
the plate loader cable tower.
There's also going to be two parts to this, as we're going to be building the back upright, which is optional, as well as the Batwing storage system.
Cable tower comes with two boxes. If you were to get the cable tower with the back upright, that will be one additional box, so you will have 3 boxes in total.
Okay, so for today's build, you're going to need a knife to open up the boxes. We have a couple options for wrenches, but you're going to need a 17mm and a 19mm, either torque wrench or socket wrench. Same thing, you're going to need a second pair of wrenches to fix to the other side. An adjustable wrench would help. And then we also have two 24mm wrenches that we're going to need for the 5/8 bolts.
After opening up your boxes and locating your instruction manual, the first step you want to do before assembling your cable tower is finding your cables and unraveling them so they're not twisted.
Okay, step 1, flipping over your instruction manual. We're locating a couple parts for the feet. So we're locating 2 part 29s. The middle bracket is part 31. We have 2 part 38s, and then your mounting bracket is part 37.
So we're going to assemble the base. We're going to connect part 29, the centerpiece part 31. The front of the centerpiece part 31 does have a lip that does wrap around part 29, like so. And then you are going to put the mounting bracket on the front, which is part 38. And then you are going to take bolts number 1, washer number 11, and nut number 8. And you're just going to feed it right through the front. Once you got that front side locked in, you're going to do the exact same thing in the back. You do just have to elevate part 31 just a smidge, just to get it to line up. And you are going to take the same exact bolts, bolt number 1, washer number 11, and nut number 8, and feed that through that bracket, which is piece 38 as well. So the last step is installing piece 37, which is the wall mounting bracket. If you are floor mounting your unit, you do not have to install this bracket. But if you are wall mounting it or mounting it into your Trident or Batwing station, you do need to mount this bracket. Well, so you are going to take piece 37, bolts number 1, washers 11, and nut number 8, and you are just going to feed them up and through the bottom of the brackets.
Okay, moving on to part 39, the chrome upright. You'll notice that on either side, the holes are staggered. So you want to make sure that the holes that are lower to the floor are going to be front to back of your cable tower. There is no difference between top and bottom, but you do want to make sure that these holes that sit lower are front to back.
After slotting the chrome upright into that bracket on the feet, you do need to levitate it a little bit. As you can see, the holes don't line up. You are going to take bolt number 4 with washer 13 and nut 10, and you are just going to slide that right through. On the sides, you are going to use bolt number 7 and washer 13 as well. The sides are pre-threaded, so you do not need a nut for those.
Next, you're going to want to grab the 2 chrome guiding rods. There is a top and bottom to these, so you will notice that the top half is threaded. The bottom half is going to have 2 holes where you're going to feed a bolt through to attach it to the bottom.
You're just going to put your guiding rod in that little slot towards the bottom. Remember, the bottom of the rod does have 2 holes. And you are going to feed bolt number 4 in through that hole. You might have to lift up your guiding rod just a bit to get that bolt nice and through and get everything lined up. So you are going to use bolt number 4, washer 13, and nut number 10 for both guiding rods. After getting those guiding rods mounted, you do just want to take your little hockey pucks, which are part number 20, and just slide them all the way down.
Okay, once you have the guiding rods in and the pucks inserted, you're going to grab part 33, which is going to feed over top into the guiding rods and come straight down. Okay, we're moving on to part 32. This is going to slide onto the chrome upright. You want to make sure that the knob is facing towards the front of the machine, and you want to make sure that you don't install it upside down. So you want the knob up higher before you slide it on. All right, moving on to part 30, which is going to sit on top. You'll notice that it has these slots for your pulleys. These are going to be once again towards the front of the machine, while the open half is towards the back.
Once you got piece number 30 on top, you are going to take bolt number 3 and washer 13, and you are going to thread that right through into the top of the guiding rods. After securing the guiding rods, you do just want to take bolt number 4, washer 13, and nut number 10, and you are going to thread that right through the front of the upright, securing part 30 and the upright together. Cool. After securing the top cross member, now it's time to install part number 37, which is your wall mounting bracket. You are going to take bolt number 1, washer number 11, and bolt number 8, and you are going to feed it top down.
All right, so at this point, if you've purchased the optional back upright, we're going to show you how to attach it onto the back of the machine now.
Previously, for the wall mounted version, we did have that reinforcement plate and the wall mounting bracket attached to the cable tower, which we have now removed, as the back upright does have a slot that sits on top of that cross flat foot member, and then you will thread the 2 bolts in through there.
Okay, so to attach the optional back upright to your cable tower, you're gonna look for these 2 L-shaped brackets, and it does come with 4 bolts that you're gonna attach the top piece into the upright. All right, moving on to part 35, there's gonna be 2 of these little kidney looking things. They're gonna be attaching to the cradle that sits on your silver upright, and we're gonna be using bolt number 2 to attach it. So if you recall in step 1, we took the cables out and laid them out to let them uncoil. You're gonna grab the longer cable, which has these 2 balls on the end of it, and we're gonna start by attaching the cables to the pulley.
We're gonna take one end of the longer cable, and we're gonna secure it in between the 2 pulleys. You are gonna take your small pulley and lock it into the kidney with the use of bolt number 5, washer 11, and nut 13. So after getting that bottom pulley secured, you are just going to feed your cable in through the top, and you just want to make sure that the ball is sticking out at the front. And again, you are just going to lock it with the same exact bolt and washer and nut. From there, you are going to take your larger pulley, feed the cable up and over, and you are going to feed into that pulley slot. You are going to use the larger pulley. The hole is pre-threaded, so you don't need a secondary nut or washer with it. It is going to be the same exact bolt number 5. So we are just going to continue over to that next pulley slot. You are going to take the same bolt number 5 and the same large 114 millimeter pulley. The same side is pre-threaded, so you would just have to secure that pulley in without another nut or a bolt.
You're gonna grab part 36, that's gonna fit right into that hole of part 33, in which case you're gonna secure it from the bottom using a nut and washer.
When you slot down part 36 into part 33, make sure it's not fully tightened, as you do need to angle that just to get that pulley and nut in through. You are going to use the larger 114 millimeter pulley and bolt number 5. After tightening that bolt, now you can turn that pulley straight. Well, and from there you can tighten it fully underneath. And now you're just going to run your cable up and over your pulley. Again, it is pre-threaded, so you are just going to lock it in with bolt number 5 and the same washer. From there, you're just going to move over to the next front pulley slot, again using the same large 114 millimeter pulley and locking in with the same number 5 bolts.
All right, so we're moving to the floating pulleys. You're gonna grab part 34. This is where you're gonna have 2 large pulleys on the top and 1 small pulley on the bottom.
Cool. After getting your cable fed the whole way through, you are gonna have a lot of slack. You are just gonna pull the cable down in between the 2 pulley slots, where you are gonna drop your cables underneath the 2 large pulley wheels. That's number 1. Yeah. Number 2, and then you are just gonna grab your part 34, slide it in right through, and you're gonna grab bolt number 4, which is your longest bolt that you have left, with washer number 13, and you are just gonna lock both pulleys into this piece. Just like the front end of the cable, you do just wanna lock your opposite end of the cable in between the 2 pulleys using your number 5 bolts, 13 washers, and number 10 nuts.
Coming back now, we're gonna grab the second cable, which has these 2 loops on either end. One end is gonna attach onto the cradle. It's gonna go through the floating pulley system, and it's gonna run down and attach to the base of the cable tower.
So when attaching the secondary cable, you are gonna start at the base. You are gonna use bolt number 6 to lock that cable in place. Well, after locking your cable in at the bottom, you do want to run your cable up into the floating mechanism, making sure it runs up and over on top of the pulley, and you are going to lock that in with bolt number 5. From there, you are going to traverse downwards into that last pulley slot, making sure your cable runs underneath that pulley. From there, you just want to pull the other end of the cable and just make sure you lock it into the 3rd or 4th hole, making sure that there's no slack left over in the cable.
Okay, so as it stands now, the cable tower build is now complete. The last step is just mounting it either into the floor, into the wall, or attaching it to a rack. You will notice that it also comes with a pair of spring collars for your plate loaded mechanism, a pair of adjustable nylon handles,
and the 2-in-1 adapter where you can connect the 2 cables together.
Okay, so that's the end of the build for the cable tower. If you're not interested in watching how we put up the Batwing and how we attach it to the rack, you can turn it off. Otherwise, stay tuned. The next step we're going to be doing is taking off this back upright, attaching a Hydra upright, and then showing you how to mount it to the rack.
When building Batwing for the cable tower, you will get 1 box for your cross members and 1 box for your single upright, so 2 boxes in total.
Okay, so we are using our existing Hydra rack that we have here in the showroom. You'll want to get an upright that matches the height of your rack just for the aesthetics. Today we're going to be using 30-inch cross members. This is the smallest size that you can use, and today we're going to be using a 90-inch upright. So this is going to be a bolting directly into your rack.
So when mounting the cross members to your existing Hydra rack, you do want to position the cross members either towards the top or the bottom of the rack, just so it doesn't impede your safeties, your J-cups, or your other attachments.
Okay, so now that we've secured our 30-inch cross members to the Hydra rack, we're going to be securing it now to the single upright.
So the bottom mounting bracket was moved to the top of the feet. It could be either positioned underneath or on top based on your preference. In this case, as we are mounting it to the cable tower, it does have to be on top as the bolts will block it. So after mounting the bottom bracket, you can now mount the top. Based on your preference, you could flip this top bracket to be top facing instead of facing downwards.
Okay, so that's it for the assembly today. We've got our cross members in, we've got our back upright with the cable tower mounted to the back upright. You can also purchase the back upright that comes with the cable tower. If you do not do this, it does have to be mounted either into the wall or into the floor. Otherwise, we're done.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see next.
Hey folks, Kayvon here, founder of Bells of Steel. I hope you loved that video. Be sure to smash that like button and leave a comment below. And if you want any of the awesome home gym equipment you saw in this video, be sure to follow the links in the description and let the gains begin.